Good morning. Oh, I can't. I forgot I didn't turn it off. But good morning from a very windy day. That is what I miss about the terrible roads in Turkey. Oh God. She didn't look right once. But yes, it is a very windy morning in the UK and we've got a red light, perfect. Today I'm going to be going over what you should know and what you should have before upgrading a motorcycle. When to know you're ready to upgrade to that next level and what I personally think those next levels are. Take my advice with a pinch of salt because I by no means am an instructor. I'm just speaking of experience and what I've seen people do and what has happened as a result of it. Firstly, I'd like to add that within myself I do have my own experience upgrading bikes and what I have made mistakes on and what I have not made mistakes on, thankfully. The first thing would be you're probably going to want to start on a 125 or a 250. If you're young, it's going to be a 125, and 125s are quite nifty bikes if I'm being honest. I love 125 bikes. They're small, they're fast, they're light. Well, they're fast for the city at least. Not the motorway. On the motorway you're going to be struggling a lot, but for the city they're not going to have a problem. They're like normal cars, their acceleration and their power isn't bad. So what we're going to first do is, well, of course, learn the bike. Know what there is, the clutch, the brake, the gas. Get used to it all. Ride for at least on a 125, I'd say about 10,000 miles. Okay, because see, on a bike you can't not take it seriously. If you make a mistake on a 125cc, it will forgive you. If you make a mistake on a 250, it will forgive you. But if you make that jump from an R3, for example, to a 600 Super Sport, and if you make a mistake, that bike is not going to forgive you in the slightest. God, there's a lot of wind. And I was expecting the wheel to spin, but actually the front came up. So that's a 125. Then I'd go on to a 250. Now, I've seen people go from a 125 to an MT-07. This is why that's a bad thing. See, the 125 is on like what, 11, 14 horsepower? It's not got a lot of power that you need to control, that you need to learn to control. And you're probably going to have a 125 on it, etc. I'm going to talk on those in a bit. Now, with an MT-07, it's two huge cylinders. That's going to bring a lot of power to this throttle. And you're not going to know how to control it. You're going to be scared. Now, even if you have a restricted bike, it's still going to be that two massive cylinders which is providing the power. So you're going to feel like you're restricted, not that you're learning something less. And you're just going to get used to full opening that MT-07 throttle. But what's going to happen when you actually de-restrict it in 2 years? Because for those 2 years you've always been doing this because it's had no real output. Like, yeah, you're going to do this all the time and it's not going to give you power. It's going to give you a slim of the power. And what's going to happen when you actually have that power? First day you're going to do a wheelie and you're going to fall. I'll tell you now. Oh, that's my mistake. If not the first day, second day. If not the second, third. I've learnt where that hole is now. And it's probable that you're going to have a minor, hopefully not major crash if you don't know what you're doing. But if you go, say, to a 250 and do another 10,000 miles on it, 15,000 miles on it, you're going to learn how to corner. It's a nifty bike, those 250s. Now, they're actually the real small CC bikes. 125 is a bit too small, but 250s are small and fast enough to compete with bigger bikes in the track. That's how important the weight is. And you can do a lot of things with the R3, the Dukes, the Hondas. They're all really good bikes, especially the Honda with that one cylinder. It can output a lot of power at the beginning when you're just lifting off. So now you're on 250 for 10,000 miles. Now you can do it. Oh yes, it's time to go on to an R6, a CBR 600. No. Why? Because although you now know how to handle a small CC bike, I'm not gonna go there, it's still raining, it'll probably run me over. Whoa, my rear is in a pothole, isn't it? It was, yeah. And that rear just slid out. And so now you've got a couple bikes. Now this is a step that 99% won't take, but I did. There's the Yamaha XJ6. There's the MT-07 as well, but I'm not fond of the MT-07 because it's got so much torque, and even though it's not a super sport 600, it can still be extremely dangerous. But more bikes, there's the ER6N, the Kawasaki. There's a Ducati 696, which is also quite powerful, but it's still not dangerously powerful as a super sport 600 would be. Then there's, I don't think there's any more that I could bring to mind, but it's those mid-weight, but the lower end of the mid-weight classes. And then you do another 10,000 on them. Now you have 30,000 experience under your buckle, and you're ready to actually go on bigger bikes. You can control them. Why I say this, I had a friend's friend who went from a 400cc to a 600 CBR 600 Super Sport, and what happened was he was on a straight line, sorry, he was on a curve, okay, and there was an R3 who kind of demolished him in the curve, in the corner. He didn't know how to corner because, well, like I said, he's a 600, doesn't exactly know how to ride it. And what happens, he got angry in the straight, full power, full throttle, because he knows he's going to annihilate him in the straight, which is exactly what he did. And then another corner comes up. He doesn't know how to brake on big CC bikes. So there's a weight difference, there's a brake difference. Braking is a lot easier on the small bikes because of the low weight, but on the big bike he didn't know how to, and bam, now he's paralyzed from the waist down, I think. And there are many stories of this. Or you're just going to be like a grandma who just bought the bike and doesn't even know how to ride it. Now I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, now where was I? So yes, I've seen many stories, I've heard many stories of people just either starting on a big bike or people progressing to a big bike when they're not ready. So this is what you have to check before upgrading. Firstly, you have to know how to control the bike in difficult situations, okay? Now everybody can get on a 1000cc and ride from point A to point B, but that's not what is the thing that allows you to progress. Anyone can do that. What the problem is knowing how and how to react in certain situations. For example, knowing how to brake. Now yes, everybody says it's braking is like squeezing a lemon. You do it slowly, but that's not true for all the situations. You have to know exactly how to squeeze in what situation, because I am going to tell you right now that in a situation where you're panicking in an emergency, you're not going to think about the lemon. I'm telling you this from experience. You're just going to grab that brake like there's no tomorrow, and if you don't have ABS, you're going to be on the ground within 2 seconds, because it's going to lock up to the right or to the left. Now if you don't have if you do have ABS, I'll tell you what's going to happen. You're going to again squeeze the brake like there's no tomorrow, and you're going to end up not braking strongly. Forgive my grammar, actually I'll stay behind him, I am talking. And see, that's really important, because then your ABS is just going to go crazy and you're not going to get any brake power. You're just going to be locking up the wheel constantly, and ABS is going to be oh my god, what is wrong with my English? Disengaging the brake constantly because you're panicking. And well, you're either going to be on the ground, no ABS, or you're not going to be braking with ABS. In either situation, you're screwed because you've not stopped. So what you need to do is, when you're going on a closed road, like with no cars or in a car park, etc., practice emergency braking. Get that muscle memory in your head. I cannot tell you how many times it's saved my life. I kid you not. A friend taught me how to brake really carefully, because if you fuck up one bit of it, you're screwed. It's gonna be like a domino. So yes, it is squeezing the lemon, but see, okay, you slightly tap the front brake and then you feel the front pressing. Alright, when the front presses, you're going to apply more and more brake, and this is an extremely strong brake. Like, you'll realize it once you're getting used to it. The first day I saw it, My friend did it to me. We did a stoppie, and I was shocked that my brakes could even do a stoppie. And I'm not even gonna lie, it was like my second week on the R3 after coming off an ABS GS6R 125, which by the way has amazingly powerful brakes. But so he taught me this. 5 minutes later I was trying this on the road, and I locked up my front wheel but immediately released the brake, so it's like a wobble. So it locks, goes to the left or right, and you disengage it, and the second you do that it corrects itself. Nevertheless, I almost I can't swear, so I pooed myself almost. But with practice I got better and better at this, and now in an emergency situation I don't think of braking, I do it automatically because it's in my muscle memory, and my hands know how much pressure to apply, when to apply it, and because of that I don't engage ABS, or in another situation I don't lock the wheel up. And all my past bikes were non-ABS, so I had to learn this. And if I'm being completely honest, I was braking stronger in dry weather, of course, without the ABS than with the ABS, because you're actually forcing the brakes to its full potential, but ABS plays it on the safe side. It disengages it when it feels like it's going to lock up. I do hope you can hear me with all this wind, I'm not even going to lie. And you need to know how to react if your bike comes to a wheelie. Say you go into a God, wow, I can feel myself shifting to the right from the wind. But say you go over a pothole or something and you whiskey throttle it, so that's by accidentally, you know, giving the throttle a go, and your front end comes up. You have to know how to react, okay? You have to be used to this. What's this guy doing? Like, why would you be in the middle? Oh god, they both go right, mate. Okay, anyways, you have to know how to control a bike if the front end comes up. Thirdly, you have to know how to corner. You have to know how to handle the bike in a corner. You can't just go into a corner and not give it your all and say, okay, I'm ready to progress to the next bike. You have to know what to do. Say for example, you go into a corner too quickly, okay? Normally it's a corner you can do, so you can adapt. You can turn the corner with confidence. But if you don't know what to do, you're going to panic. And you're actually going to go outwards and outwards and outwards. And then you're going to look outwards. And then you're going to be, before you know it, by the sidings. It's certainly not an ideal situation you want to be in. Fourth, you have to know how to ride the bike in the rain, okay? You have to be able to control the rear of the bike in the rain. If you apply too much power, like you probably will in bigger bikes, you have to know how to control the rear, what to do in what situation. Say your rear goes out to the right, say your rear goes out to the left. You have to know how to control it. Guys, I cannot emphasize how important these are. If you started an MT-09, you're not going to know any of these, not even 90%. You're going to know none of these because you've not had the experience with any of them. And experience is so important. It's not knowing things. You can know all of these on paper theoretically, but it's not going to do you any good unless you have experience witnessing what happens. So my advice, 125, then a 250 or a 300 or 400 maybe, then slow 600 like the ones I told you mid-video, then a Super Sport 600, and then 1000cc. Not 125 600, not 125 250 then a Super Sport 600. No, you have to follow the right steps. You can't jump from the lowest point to the highest point. It's not going to work. I'll see you guys in a bit. Yeah, hey guys, I don't know why I said I'll see you guys in a bit. What is he doing? He must be very confused. But yeah, that's all I've got to say. If you do have any questions, please do let me know. I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge, because I know this can be a tricky subject in what motorcycle you should change to and from. But do know I have no knowledge in choppers, like zero. So don't ask me any questions on that. But any other bikes, I should do my best. But yeah, be very careful guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.